It seems to me that Geoffrey Hill has got this amazing ability to collide words and phrases in such a way that they impact and then somehow give off heat and create something greater than the sum of their parts. Geoffrey Hill's collections include Mercy and Hymns, King Log, my favourite Tenebrae, and his new book is Without Title. I'm delighted to say that Geoffrey Hill joins us now from the Verb's Boston studio. So, Geoffrey, could you begin by reading us The Jumping Boy?
Here is the jumping boy, the boy who jumps as I speak. He is at home on the King's Highway, in call of the tall house, its blind gable end, the trees. I know this place. The road on broad contourings drawn out of sight stops, wherever, but not at Lioness, though from Lioness I shall bring you, through grimed orchards, across gorse-hummocked old common land, everywhere given back to the future of memory. He leaps because he has serious joy in leaping. The girl's eyes no way allowed for, or else she is close in covert, and we are to know that, not knowing how. I'll bet she worships his plebeian bullet head, Hermes' winged plimsolls, the crinkled toy tin hat held on by elastic. He is winning a momentous and just war with gravity. This may be levitation. I could do that. Give my remembrance to his new body. These episodes occur. Jump away, jumping boy. The boy I was shouts, go.
Geoffrey Hill reading his poem The Jumping Boy. Now, Geoffrey, when I first read that poem, I began by reading it as a childhood memory. That line, for example, that wonderful line, the crinkled toy tin hat held on by elastic. Is that where it began for you?
It began in several ways. It began partly from a picture from a painting by Christopher Wood, the original of which I think is in Sheffield Art Gallery, though to my shame I've never seen it in the original. I say to my shame considering the time that I lived in the West Riding, as I still like to call it. I've seen it in a rather poor black and white reproduction, but it is a painting of a young boy jumping. The painting belongs to 1929, so obviously I have imposed my own childhood memories on top of that. Yes, the crinkled toy tin hat held on by elastic is me in 1940 or thereabouts.
We've been talking in the programme earlier about objects being important as starts for writing. Is that how it is for you sometimes, the idea of an object or a memory of an object?
Not usually. It's usually a number of words that seem to point in a direction that I can't quite fathom. And the poem is trying to find out where the words are directing me. This is a somewhat unusual poem by my standards, and I have an affection for it because of that. But it's not the usual way in which my poems begin. They don't generally begin with images. They begin with groups of words.
Now, I've always loved, to begin with, the music of your work, but then I also like the fact that I have to work hard on your poems. And do you expect the reader to work hard as you do on your poems?
I expect the reader to come some way towards meeting me. I don't have any trouble with the common reader. I think the common reader is a natural aristocrat of the spirit. And in fact, I think the common reader is of more value these days than 90% of the poets. In fact, one of my books, Canaan, is dedicated to such a common reader who became a great friend of mine through his loving my work. Sure. It's the poets I sometimes have trouble with.
Because I can love your work then without getting every reference that you give me, because I want to go along the journey with you and I want to find out the references and find out why you wrote and why you collided the words in a certain way. But if I don't get every reference, then I can still read the work.
Oh yes, absolutely. I don't get all the references myself sometimes.
Oh well, so over the years then, you've been writing poems for a long time. Has your understanding of what poetry is developed, what the function of poetry is, what poetry can do?
No, I think it's remained almost static. I've always felt that that poetry is one of the great glories of the human intelligence, and at the same time it has a strange powerlessness. It is simultaneously powerful and powerless. I thought that when I was 20, and now I'm 74 nearly. I still think that. And part of the theme of my writing, I suppose, is this very fact, that I do think it is simultaneously immensely powerful and virtually powerless.
That links for me to the other poem you're going to read for us, the broken hierarchies. What are the particular hierarchies? Are there hierarchies here that are being broken, that you'd like to see broken?
No, there are hierarchies that have been broken and one would like to see put together. When to depict rain, heavy rain, it stands in dense verticals diagonally lashed, chalk white, yet with the chalk translucent. The roadway sprouts 1,000 flowerets. Storm paddies instantly reaped, replenished, and again cut down. The holding burden of a wisteria drape amid drape, the sodden copia of all things flashing and drying. First here after the storm, these butterflies, fixed on each jinking run, probing, priming, then leaping back, a babble of silent tongues, and a flint church also choiring into dazzle. Like Appalachian music, those aureate stark sounds, plucked or bowed, a wild patience replete with loss, the twankled dulcimer, scrawny rich fiddle gnawing, a man's low voice that looms out of the drone, the hummingbird that is not of these climes, and the great wanderers like the albatross, the ocean, ranging in, laying itself down on our alien shore.
So the idea that the hierarchies have been broken and that you're seeking to mend them, that idea of the babble of silent tongues.
Yes, I mean a hierarchy is where each thing belongs, higher to lower, each in its right place. All we seem to have is the occasional fragment of intuition that everything coheres or inheres. And we have this occasional fragment of intuition by way of sensory perception or the reawakened intuitive desire that things should be so, should be just so. So that is, in fact, it's an attempt to assert or mend the hierarchies, while at the same time it knows that they can't be mended.
That's true. Well, thank you very much, Geoffrey Hill. Thank you.
You're very welcome.